I find it hard to answer the question, what do I wish people knew about online bullying? Because I feel like to understand it, you'd have to go through it, and I don't want anybody to ever have to go through it. However, I do wish that people, or I hope that people understand that on the receiving end of that trolling and that bullying is a human being, someone with thoughts, feelings, hopes, desires, fears, you know. All the emotions that you feel are the emotions that that person on the receiving end feels, and it's a lot. So my name is Adele James and I am an actress. I ended up being trolled quite viciously and quite of a very racist nature, a lot of it, most of it. It was very difficult, certainly in the beginning, and I think probably the main reason for that was it just makes your world incredibly small. You feel like you're just kind of living on a screen, and it's coming at you all the time. Even with, like, I before it happened, I didn't have my notifications on anyway, but it still felt like it was like kind of just coming at me in these massive waves. There definitely is also a lasting impact, I think, with anything like that. You know, I'm more cautious about how I want to use social media. Not to say that I want to be driven off of it by any stretch of the imagination, but it's quite scary to realize how easily you are exposed to that level of hate. I definitely had support from other people, and I think it's really important to reach out to other people if this is something that's happening to you. It can feel very isolating and very lonely. I remember the first 24 hours in particular, because it just kind of it started really exciting, and then there was all these lovely messages coming through, and then negative ones started coming through, and it just kind of built and built and built and built and built, and I couldn't see the point at which it was going to stop building, and it was very overwhelming, and I felt very alone in that. And it wasn't until I had spoken to somebody that I trusted that I realised I didn't have to go through it on my own, and since then I've spoken about it quite a lot. And the more I talk about it, actually, the more power I kind of gain over it, I feel, which I had never thought would be the case in the beginning, in that first 24 hours. My self-care tips would be immerse yourself in things that bring you joy. You know, I write in a little notebook. It's got all these lovely penguins on it. I write in this little notebook 2 things in the morning and 2 things in the evening, most days, just that I like about myself. And they're different every day, or sometimes they're the same. Doesn't really matter, but when I'm not feeling great, that's really nice for me to look back through, and it always makes me feel better in the moment. My message to young people who are going through anything similar would be, you're not alone. You aren't alone. There are people who love you, who want to support you, who live in the real world and exist in the real world, and those are the people to reach out to connect with. Anybody that you trust, I would implore you to reach out to them and get the support that you need. It's also really important to report people, because what that is illegal. It's not right that people are doing that to you, and there are systems in place for you to be able to report that, and I really do encourage you to do that. And if it's too difficult for you to do that yourself, which it was for me at times, that's okay. Again, you can maybe speak to someone you trust, and perhaps there's a way that they can help you report that. And definitely as well, you know, make use of any kind of anti-bullying support lines. Obviously PAPYRUS are amazing, and I could not recommend them more as a support system, but there are lots of places you can get in touch with as well for support with this specific issue. If you're a young person who's thinking about writing something on the internet about somebody else, I would just charge you to stop for a second and just have a think about what the impact might be of what it is that you're about to write, especially if that thing is negative. And I really, really would encourage you to think about the fact that once you put something online, it is there forever. You might think that once you've deleted it that it's gone, but it's not. It's there forever. Even Snapchat, even things that disappear after 24 hours, so to speak, they're out there somewhere. And the last thing I would want for you is for that to follow you around for the rest of your life when you're so early on in your life. So please do just stop and have a think about that, because I think what you'll probably come to realize is that it's absolutely not worth it, and there's another way of going about whatever it is that you're feeling and thinking.